Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in the grand finals of the Diverging Gaming NA Amateur Tournament. Here we have GaleForce Esports and Resurgence, who has been dominating for the most part against actually some pretty formidable teams, really. It's not that it's like a first-time team showing up. They've been taking players who have been in the pro scene a little bit. They've been taking rosters that have existed for quite some time. And honestly, without sounding too punny, Resurgence is making quite a bit of resurgence here.
They're making a comeback.
They're making a comeback. They're definitely establishing dominance, and also we have GaleForce, who has been kind of the go-to winner of these amateur tournaments over the past couple of weeks. If they haven't won, they've definitely put up a very, very impressive showing for the entire time. So this is going to be a great grand finals. Like I said, after the blank matchup, I think this is probably these two games are going to be what are the best of the night. And we also the grand finals is now in a best of 3 format, so we will see these teams playing multiple maps, multiple comps and strategies. It will be interesting to see what kind of play we see with the Tronda. Mainly because we don't. Last game was the first time we actually got to see the Tronda, and she did end up pulling a win there at the very end. But Dragonshire looks like it's going to be the map, which I am, as I said, ecstatic for because it is my favorite map. How are you feeling about this, Invram?
I don't know. I feel like those last we saw like a bunch of really good games.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think did we see a game under 25 minutes?
No, I think we've only seen like actually pretty solid quality games the entire night. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tehran showing why she's still a force to be had in that last game. The Diablo Tehran combo, we've been seeing that for over a year, and for good reason. It's definitely one of the more terrifying combos in this game, and just able to pull out some awesome play. I also want to note that I think it was shot on the Sonya that game. The flanks, the positioning were absolutely phenomenal.
The Skull Kid shot was on the Tronda with the 5-man Lunar Flare.
Oh, yes, there we go. Sorry, and Skull Kid on the Sonya there, able to just really capitalize on anyone who's out of position there.
Yeah.
And just a few little misplays. There were a couple chances in that last game where RFS had to take a little bit of an advantage. They got a favorable trade in the bot lane, but then ended up just not quite being able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
A surprising, actually, early game, I think. All in all, I think we expected that to be a lot more one-sided.
I agree.
That wasn't actually.
It was absurd, actually. When the comps that we thought that would actually show their spike in the late game ended up falling behind in the late game, the comp that we thought that would be really strong in the early game actually lost the early game and then pulled it in the late game. Keep in mind, though, Diablo Tronda is strong throughout the entire game. It just usually shows its strength in the early levels when there aren't ultimates to actually react to their team fighting. Also, laning phase is really easy to get picks and everything else. So I agree with you. That was a little bit interesting. What about the draft for this next game? Do you think Toronto is going to see a play? Do you think teams are going to let it through after what Resurgence just did? Because they just proved that they know how to do Diablo Toronto very well.
No, I think it depends if GaleForce was actually watching that game. I would expect.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were in their own match or if they'd already finished, but I feel like we just saw the power of Tehran. I would be very surprised if we saw her go through again in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. And actually, our draft is just now going underway here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over that. And we see GaleForce Esports with the first pick, first ban. It's going to be on Zagara. I like that far more than the Kel'Thas for the rest of the day, especially with the map Tronda. It's going to be a Kel'Thas first pick, most likely here from GaleForce Esports, responding with a Jaina Murden from Resurgence, most likely here. Nothing too fancy here. These have been the go-to picks and bans across the board. And
we got this down to a science.
I mean, pretty much. Rightfully so, though. Those heroes all definitely deserve the spots that they have been picked up on. Keep in mind, with Zagara being banned, top laners are now higher priority. I actually really like the ban so far from GaleForce Esports by banning Zagara, then being able to have a priority pick on the top laner potentially here in this lane matchup if Resurgence does take the Murd and Jaina for the rotations, which now you might see a heavy pickup on a top laner like Thrall, for instance, which then they're going to ban Sonya, possibly, most likely, to remove the other melee assassin. That is very, very powerful here. There we go. We see the Thrall and then the ETC. I very much like that. I wouldn't doubt if we saw a Sonya ban. Uther coming out here for Resurgence, and then Sonya probably in favor of GFE very much. The draft's going quick, and as expected, like in this
easiest draft of my life. I don't have to say anything. You got this. This is what's going to happen. This is gonna happen next, and here we go. Yeah, everybody wins. No. Very standard draft. I like
Rainer.
the CC pickup though, coming out from GaleForce. I feel like that's going to be with all that CC they've got coming out in these rotations. Watch for them to try and get these early kills. Resurgence so far, quite a bit of CC as well though. But not a ton left on the board. I'm going to be curious to see what kind of like wave clear heroes both sides are going to pick up to absolutely secure those rotations, and what
I'm
top
gonna
board.
drop my secret pick that I think Resurgence should pick up in this draft. I don't know if they will. It's Zeratul.
Ooh,
I think that's what they need in this comp to really step ahead of their opponents. We see the Falstad. I don't think we'll see a Rainer as much then. I was surprised. Although I do kind of pull away from the Falstad. I think he is a very hard hero to use properly. So a lot of the times when it comes to drafting, I don't really go to him as a must-have, but he is very common here in this tournament. With Falstad, I don't know if they'll be looking to get the Rainer. It is quite possible, but I would like to see them get some kind of high aggression out of their comp now that they have the Murd and Jaina, and I'm really interested to see what they do in the top lane, considering that right now they don't have a top laner per se. You could send Falstad, but somebody who can actually deal with Thrall. Like we said, he's a very, very strong top laner, and a lot of CC coming out from GFE so far.
what hero would you say? Thrall obviously does quite well in that top lane. What are the heroes you feel really can hold their own or beat Thrall in that top lane?
Beat him is a different story than holding their own. I don't think other than Zigara is like one of the few. I don't know direct counters the Thrall, honestly. He just heals so much and pokes so much that you just need somebody who can just not lose to him more than anything. And I think Tassadar is a hero that can do that. I definitely wouldn't like to see that out of Resurgence. They actually go with the double tank here, which is going to make their 4-man rotation have high kill potential, but it will suffer quite a bit in the wave clear here. Last pick, Rhaegar here. I like that. Beat the Uther ban because of the Thrall. Smart pick up there. And then it's probably going to be a Rainer here coming out from GFE. I don't see or Vol. I like that a lot more actually. That was what we were talking about in the first pick man face about Vala for the rotations. I like that a lot more. I think we might see Karazim or Malfurion. I personally like Malfurion in this situation.
As do I.
With his latest patch changes to him, I think that would really help. It also is going to help with Strafe. Vala
Chain
having
Bomb.
that heavy, yeah. Well, I mean, Chain Bomb is a beast of its own, but just overall the strafe on potentially flanking on the back line here, I really like it. But a lot of teams I feel like do still kind of like that monk. Overall, Malfurion or not, what do you think? What do you think about this draft? What do we
I
need
feel
to
like
see?
it's going to be a Malfurion simply for the roots
Okay,
in this situation. I feel like just that extra bit of CC is going to do a lot for them here. The flip into the roots with the Blizzard is an absolutely monstrous combo,
I
and there it
agree.
is. So yeah, I feel like that's something that a lot of teams have been playing around with recently. The roots just offering so much versatility here. We actually saw them used to relatively good effect in that last game.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty standard drafts coming out. So standard that you could predict them basically to the point for both these teams. I do like the Diablo pickup here, I have to say. I feel like that extra little bit of aggression. And obviously it's showing its power in the last game just to be able to so much displacement, so much CC coming out from the side of Resurgence. GFE's got a decent amount as well, though. I feel like if Rhaegar can do well in this game and get off the ancestrals when he needs to, and outlast Resurgence here and get a kill like early in those fights, and then proceed to not get chipped away, I feel like they're going to do well here. Mosh Pit, what is your thought on how that's going to work here? Or do you think it's
It's
potentially
gonna
going to
be
be a
a
stage
follow
dive?
up. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be. I don't think it'll be a stage dive. It does kind of have some potential here, but I definitely think they're gonna go with a. They're gonna have Rhaegar get cleansed, and they're gonna have Mosh Pit go in with. Right after the Sunder split, and then they'll cleanse him early in to try and keep the Mosh Pit going for a minimum of 1 second, trying to delay that Murden potential pickup there. I do agree with you with the roots coming out from Malfurion, also to deal with Vala and Chain Bomb is the most important thing there. This is a good draft across the board. I actually like both teams' drafts. And the late game Falstad with the mobility for Dragonshire is absolutely awesome. We saw that actually won Resurgence their last game. But what I'm worried about this game the most is wave clear from Resurgence in the 4-1 rotation and winning top lane. I think they do have definite kill potential. If they hard engage on a single target, they can very much confirm a kill. What I'm worried about is how well Falstad is going to do in that 1v1 on top if he actually can take out Thrall. And if he does actually stand a chance with Thrall, then if they are able to keep up with the wave clear and confirm those kills like they need to, I very much can see Resurgence taking this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these drafts, again, I really enjoy both of them. I think they're great. I feel like GFE pulling out that Valor, not a hero we see a ton, but I absolutely
I
love her in
love
this.
it.
You're
I
right.
think it was a
Yeah.
beautiful pick for them.
Do you? What build do we expect from her?
Definitely W build.
Yep. That
I
was my thought as well.
I definitely would like to see them use W build mainly just because it provides the wave clear that they're going to need to be able to keep up in those 4-1 rotations that we've been talking about so much today. I think it's really going to be useful. So here we see in the blue trunks we have Killick on the Falstead once again tonight. That's about the, I think, 4th time that we've seen him there. Daihu's going to be on the Muradin. Skull Kid's going to be on the Diablo. What you said, it's Rixie is going to be on the Malfurion, and Shot is going to be on the Jaina once more.
And coming out on the right hand side, the red team, that is GaleForce Esports. We have How Nuyen on Thrall, Hexo on Rhaegar, LMAO on Kael'thas, Ball and Beast on Vala, and Mysticles on the ETC.
And here we see, again, the early brawl coming out here from both teams at level 1. Definitely level 1 I would probably put in favor here of, definitely on Resurgence. They have so much CC as long as they don't make a mistake here. Really hard engage coming out on Daihu, who has to leap out here. Mystically is having a hard time getting this escape. Oh, but the Moonburn isn't going to be enough here, actually. Moonfire, Ball and Beast really calling out that isolation there on Shot. Really smart decision making there. And it looks like both teams kind of go blow for blow, but one back does come out from Resurgence there. The top lane is going to be the Falstad here versus the Thrall. This is the matchup I don't know that well. I personally feel like Thrall wins it, as long as he doesn't take too much free harass here. And that's what I'm worried about here. As long as they don't get kills in this 4-1 rotation, I very much am worried about GFE's composition. And as we see, they aren't together on the rotations at all right now. It's 100% being dominated by Resurgence, and if they can't dominate that top lane as well, they're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying the positioning, though, coming up from GaleForce Esports for a second here. Someone had got through there. That was absolutely a kill. But here we got Mysticles getting nice two-man stun. Rixie's going to take a lot of damage, but the follow-up Gravity Lap's not going to be connecting. Great roots coming out there to stop them. If those roots connected, I think that would have been a kill. But all in all, great job from Resurgence to not get picked off there.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're doing it really well. And they're honestly... they're trying to dictate the pace of this game, but they aren't really getting away with it. This double tank wave clear is suffering, as we see. GFE is just rotating on them freely on every lane right now. And in the top lane, both Falstad and Thrall. Falstad's actually hiding from the Thrall at this time, knowing that he can't compete with this lane. They're losing the 4-1 rotation, and they're also losing the top lane. This is definitely going to be scary here for Resurgence. And their shot at this game. They're definitely going to have to try and make it up in the late game here. As we see, XP is almost dead even, mainly because nothing too crazy has happened yet. But like I said, with this domination in the 4-1, winning every lane right now is it's in Dragonshire, it's game. Like, you lose the whole game because of it. If they don't end up making a change here, I'm going to be really worried. This is what they need to do. This is perfect decision-making here. Skull Kid rotating top, knowing he can possibly threaten this 2v1, or this 1v1 up here. That was a misclick on my part, but he does get flipped over, ends up going down, and they are going to cap on top. But guess what? Nobody was mid to defend. That's going to be a free DK. Daihu isn't able to keep it up. And now we see a level lead going in favor of Resurgence. Yeah, in favor of Resurgence? No, it's...
yeah, almost a full level there, yeah.
Yep.
Interesting to note that that Thrall actually went down without even being hit by the Blizzard. They had so much damage that they didn't even need it. So curious to see what that's going to spell out for the rest of this game. I mean, I feel like some raw damage coming out here on the side of Resurgence is at a point where they might not even need their full combo to get a kill, and that could be huge, because if they can get one of these pickoffs going into one of these shrine fights, that could set the pace. But right now, this DK is just doing a little bit of work, poking away at that mid, taking down that gate, gonna go down to the bottom lane. I would expect Ball and Beast to not pressure this too much, though, as I feel like they're just gonna back. Not want to get too greedy with this. They've now caught up and actually surpassed Resurgence in XP, so far, relatively good place. Daihu's actually going to get caught a little bit in the middle there. Interesting power slide. Great wave coming down, and Daihu going to survive. Oh no, actually going to go down. Rixie coming in with that heal, but not quite enough. Hexo's actually posturing aggressively, but Shot's just going to back out. That was a very nice chain CC there coming out from the side of GaleForce Esports, giving no chance to get those unstoppable frames off. Great job coming out from them.
No, absolutely. They timed those. They timed the chain CC there perfectly. Now they're gonna back out, take the mercs, get a merc control advantage, which is gonna help them for the next lane. I do want to say that I'm really happy to see Resurgence realizing that they were losing every lane and trying to make something happen with that rotation to the top lane. That's something we haven't seen at all yet today on Dragonshire. So finally seeing a team with a smart decision making, realizing they need to make something happen, go to a different lane. Meanwhile, Thrall on top is getting the 1v1 with Killick. He is gonna get slowed by Shot here and confirm the kill. Really good bait from Killick there. knowing
Absolutely.
that he's going to overextend a little bit for that kill. But they do respawn. Giants in the bottom lane. That's 4 Giants. Early game, 4 Giants is very hard to deal with, even late game for that matter. Only Malfurion to clear this out. This is going to be a front wall if they push hard enough, possibly a fort here. Knights are going to be taken very slow. Only 2 people on the Knight camp. This is going to be a lot of damage done by these Giants here.
And I'm kind of surprised that they haven't gone more aggressive on Rixie here. I guess they didn't realize that the rest of his team was actually further up. But Rixie posturing incredibly. If ETC had just gone with the power side there, that was a dead Malfurion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they just didn't understand, and then now here we come with the counter aggression here. Fallen Beast is mounted. ETC is the only one getting hit on right now, so it's not going to be that bad. Good focus on Skull Kid there, trying to confirm the kill. Mystically is very patient with that Q, as he should be. They do survive the 4 vs 5 gank. Thrall now has a positional advantage, at least on top. Keep in mind, there is a false head, so it's not going to be that crazy when it comes to positioning and the relevance of it. But he does have positional advantage here on top for this shrine. And it looks like they're going to have positional advantage here now again on bottom shrine. We see GaleForce here establishing dominance on the map again. They did lose the DK, but it was just from one bad rotation. That's going to be a dead Diablo here. And that should look to possibly be a DK here. With how well they're winning the rest of the map, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to pick it up. If not, it's going to be relatively close. Rotating 2 to the bottom lane. Daihu being very, very patient.
Absolutely. A little bit of fight here going up from the top lane. Killick being forced out, or getting forced out by Hao Nguyen, but shots coming in to try and help him out here. Going to miss his Q, but so far I think Hao Nguyen might be in a bit of a rough spot, but great rotation coming from Hexo. Shot actually going to be a little bit caught out now. I'm not sure they're going to be able to finish that up. Hexo's charging aggressively. Mystically actually... No. Well, going to get 1 kill there on Jaina, but that was a fantastic rotation.
Yeah.
Hexo coming in at the last minute to save Hao Nguyen. Great bait actually coming in from him, knowing that his teammate was coming in to help him out there. Diablo's kind of baiting in this mid lane, but I feel like he's going to be in for a bit of a nasty shock in just a second. And I think there's nothing that...
10 advantage.
Level 10 now. Yeah,
there is no
there's
contention.
nothing to do.
What they need to do right now, if they can, they did get Thrall in this Dragon Knight, so that is interesting. There they go. This is what I like to see. A team prioritizing the bottom lane. This might only because the front wall is out, but honestly, them pushing on the bottom lane is the smartest decision they can have. Like I said in the early cast, pushing on the bottom lane is the most relevant because that's the lane where the shrine is, so it'll give you a side advantage when it does come to the late game on this map. So I really like this decision making from them, and they're looking to get a flank here to try and force before 10, but it's not going to happen.
Yes, indeed. Level 10 barely coming out in time, but a bit of an out of position here shot. The mosh pit going to go off, instantly canceled though. Great Blizzard coming in the retaliation. Beast taking lots of damage to the backline. Skokid actually going to push him down, standing inside of this Phoenix. Trank finally going to come out here in the backline, but I don't think there's enough to turn it. Hexo's going to go down. ALMAO as well. Killick a little bit late to this fight, but it doesn't matter. 3 kills, going to be 4 coming out here, and GaleForce Esports got absolutely obliterated in that fight.
Yeah, and that was honestly because they decided to dive a fort while they have a DK. DKs don't actually hurt that bad. They just lost their most powerful, one of their most powerful early game heroes on their team, Thrall. And so trying to take a team fight that aggressively there through bottom, looking to dive there, it got turned around really easily on them, and that was really smart play there from Resurgence, understanding that with Thrall in the Dragon Knight and then forcing the fight that hard that they just were patient and they took their advantage.
Yeah, the lack of Sunder really hurt them that fight.
Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
Could have been a big factor in that one. I think who do you think for them would be the best person to put inside of that DK going to these next engagements?
Definitely in the later end of the game, you want to put Vala into it. Kael'thas provides too much damage. You usually in the late game, you want to put the target who's gonna die the most. If you burn in ults on a single if you burn in ults in this case, there isn't really that many ults that matter that much because Thrall is so relevant outside of his ultimate. But like on Zagara, for instance, if you burn Ma, it's best to put her in there. But usually in the later game, you want to look for your squishiest hero. So I would like to see Vala in there in the later half of the map. Plus, she's countered by their healers. So, but it does look like they're gonna look for a gank up here in the upper half. They're gonna maybe take out the front wall, win the race to 13. Keep in mind, Giants are pushing on bottom. Kael'thas is deciding to go down there and respond to those, so this will be a 4 vs 5 fight. They see Vala on mid. I wouldn't be surprised if Resurgence really forces this fight right now.
Yeah, but GaleForce Esports is very smartly just backing up. They realize they don't have Kael'thas with them. They don't want to make something happen here, force the issue. So neither side really going to make too much of a play for this here. Both passively soaking to 13 incredibly evenly. The XP here is pretty much spot on. KT basically had to respond to those Giants in the bot lane, so good call from GaleForce to not push and overextend there.
Yeah, and positional advantage now, obviously we see that Resurgence is now just going to dominate the top shrine. Meanwhile, in the bottom half of the map, without the fort, this is a really good decision to be dominating on bottom. I would have liked to see them to choose the win top shrine first, mainly because of the site advantage they're going to get here on bottom. But not the worst decision making coming out from GFE here. They are patiently waiting, trying to get this Jaina to rotate. Falstad is still on the top half of the map. They know she's kind of isolated, playing very patient. She is now going to go down as long, yeah. She's very out of position, but no, the collapse here. Ayla Mao is very out of position. Ice Block's going to come in, train come out. Beautiful APOC. Oh my goodness. The strafe over the wall instantly canceled though.
Wow, it was an absolutely beautiful APOC catching 3. Rixie in the backline managed to keep his team alive, and ETC's going to fall on the back of that as well. That was a being mounted was definitely the deciding factor there going into that one. Shot was able to get down, force the team out enough that his team could fall up in the backline and actually pull out a really interesting pinch and force that APOC fighting in that very narrow choke.
Yeah.
That was an absolutely heads-up play from them. Most I feel like people would try to back out there or try and escape, but Shot's like, nope, we're just going in. We're just going to do it, trusting his team to be there to back him up. That was a very good play coming from the side of Resurgence.
I think a lot of it came down to the patience of ETC too. If you think about it, if he had just acted quicker, that kill would have happened without any response from his team, but he waited long enough for the entire team to rotate bottom as well with Shot. To where he was no longer isolated, having that ice block to be able to wait it out. But they do end up getting the DK from that small advantage. They are going to push mid fort and then rotate to bottom fort. Smart decision making there. All they're looking to do here, if you're on the side of Resurgence right now, is you're trying to maximize your XP before 16 without taking a fight, and that is going to be Falstead sitting on top, as you see, and then trying to push on bottom with the DK here. Again, the early game DKs aren't really that effective, and they realize that, so they're just trying to get as much as they can without falling behind in any XP. Once they hit 16, that's when you'll be seeing them looking to take a big team fight, probably through Merc control and then having their opponent clear out the Mercs and then forcing as hard as they can with the Gust or really good Jaina Diablo combo. We see ETC slightly getting caught out here. Really good use of the passive gravity lapse there to knock up as many things as it can. But now 16 has been reached. They realize it. Resurgence taking the advantage that they can. Thrall's on top. This is going to be a free bottom fort right now in their favor. They don't have much else to stack with it, so it's probably going to be at most the front wall of the keep if they decide to go that far. Personally, I think they should back out and look for Merc control. Main reason for that is because the next shrine, I guess they might be able to get the front wall and then back out. Either way, having the Mercs for the next shrine is going to be the most important. And Thrall hasn't responded at all either, so this is the smart play on their part. Good job from Resurgence understanding that. Now they're just going to back out, get all the Mercs, wait for the shrines to spawn and be able to dominate that. It's not likely they're going to be able to force anything else, but Killick getting a little bit overextended there with those frost shots.
Yeah, ALMAO was able to pretty much half health, half the team there with one chain bomb and then a couple follow-up flame strikes. So good job from him to try and force them back. I think that was a pretty smart call not to try and overextend there. Thrall was in the top lane, but it is interesting to note that level 16 has still not yet been reached for GaleForce Esports. So, you know, good job from them to force them back without having that. But now they're on an even talent here. Now is the time to see what these teams will do. Be curious to see how aggressive GaleForce is going to play this. Obviously, Resurgence is going to back up. They're just going to take their Mercs. But I feel like the decision making here coming up from GaleForce is what's going to decide the next course of this. Can they get a pick, or can they, you know, assert some dominance before these next shrines spawn? Because they should be coming up relatively soon. And right there.
Yeah, the shrines are now up. What is going to happen here is that in the top lane, they're going to be able to push out here and make sure that they get the Dragon Knight. Keep in mind, on the bottom half of the map, we have blue giants pushing in favor of them to give them a little bit more sight, but they do have a counter camp of knights here. So both teams capping the camps. Capping the shrine on the side of that they have the camps, really smart decision making. Also forcing the fort here, really good decision making from them. They're going to back out. What I would like to see them to do here actually is just send Falstead a cap and everybody else rotate bottom as hard as they possibly can right now. And there we go. We see Falstead moving up to get the cap. The rotation was a little later than I would have liked to see. They should be trying to force the fight now on this bottom front wall. This is a worst case scenario from GFE. This is absolute worst case. They're fighting on a shrine that they don't need. Which is going to lead to a really bad situation if they lose this fight. A free DK, a minimum of a keep here. Skull Kid, though, very overextended. Apoc's going to hit, but he is already dead. Doesn't matter. Jaina combo going to finish him up there. Beautiful counter mosh here. It's going to hit 3 people. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't know. Alamau is still on Shot, who now is ice blocked. Welly is beating on him this entire time. Beautiful Ancestral going to land right onto the Bala. And it looks like this team fight is going in favor of GFE here.
They somehow managing to pull that out. ALMAO doing absolute work in the backline, able to zone out, but Skull Kid's back. that the Lord of Terror there coming back in with his souls, but actually managed to pick up another kill there. And is ALMAO going to go down here? Daihu playing super aggressively. I think he's actually going to go down.
He is.
Yes, fantastic job from Daihu, able to clean that up. Skull Kid using his passive ability to get back into that fight was definitely the deciding factor there. And Hexo might also go down as well.
He is a dog form. He should be able to survive. They burnt the roots, so he's not going to have anything too bad there. Honestly, the fact that that team fight went in favor of GFE is surprising, I guess. I don't even know who won that fight, really. I don't know. It was like back and forth. Who won? Like
I think Resurgence might have come out on top of that, maybe. We're not entirely sure. Having to blow that is definitely, yeah, I think now we can safely say that.
No, you definitely can. Resurgence comes out on top of that team fight. The most important thing, though, was the fight was taken at the disadvantage of Resurgence, or not of Resurgence, but of GFE there, and they were able to turn around to where they didn't totally lose the fight, because if they had, that was a free DK 100%, which would have led to a minimum of a keep in that situation. But they do end up turning it around here, as we see Top Shrine being captured by them. They're clearing out the wave. They're going to be rotating bottom as soon as possible. They are very, very behind in rotations. Keep in mind, 20 is almost achieved as well. With 20 being achieved, they are going to look to force the fight as best as possible. What we're going to see out of Resurgence here is they're not even going to pick a fight. They're going to dance between the shrines, back and forth, not worrying about anything right now. They're maximizing their XP. They're going to get 20. Look at Shots even moving down. He knows he doesn't have to worry about anything right now. They're on the upper half of the map. He's just going to look to try and get some giants here. They're going to wait out 20, force the fight, and hopefully win that with that big of an advantage. Taking Merc camps down here, smart decision. Look, they have both shrines, and it's a free DK. They don't even care. They know they're waiting for 20. They don't want to risk it. I would like to see them move up, but they're afraid that they're at this point. Remember, GFE actually hadn't shown till they capped that. There you go. Now they're going to move up and take this, realizing that it's going to be nearly free. I would like to see pushing on bottom with this. You have giants moving with you. Again, bottom is still the most valuable rotation. It does lose you a little bit of time, but this late in the game, the DK really doesn't need to be forced too quickly on anything. Clearing out the giants for free as well. There we go. Smart rotation from them going to bottom. I would like to see somebody clear out this wave. Shot pulling back. There it is. Very smart decision making from Resurgence left and right here.
Yeah, I think they're the time they put in this game is really starting to show. Some players who've definitely been around in this scene for a long time, and definitely using that experience to their advantage here, making some absolutely great shot calling. And they're going to push in on this bottom keep. I don't think there's much the GaleForce is going to be able to do. If anything, the Daihu is taking quite a bit of damage here. I think this keep is guaranteed to go down.
Yeah, the keep will go down until Amash is forced on the backline, but he took a lot of damage there, Mystically's. He will be slowly healed up. Good kick on the Rhaegar there. Smart decision making to remove the healer, so they can't really force a team fight without him also not being able to mount. They do get the keep here. They aren't going to actually move to mid-keep wall. They're actually going to stay for one more wave, and then they're going to. Smart decision making there. Remember, they do have the 20 advantage, so they want to be forcing as hard as they can. Move up the minion wave. They realize they have 13 seconds left. It's not going to get too hyphy with it. If they do get this front wall down, be prepared for a possible engage. There's only a little bit of time left till level 20. Killick's positioning says, no, we don't want this. They're going to back out. They're going to take Knights instead. They're going to use the Merc control advantage, not risk diving that keep. Smart decision making from them. Just going to paint the map blue and hope for the next DK and that they're going to have a positional advantage.
Absolutely. I feel like Resurgence is just making the right calls going to this game. I feel like they're playing this exactly how they need to, knowing when they're strong and knowing the fact that now that GaleForce does have level 20, but I agree, choosing to soak, waiting to cap that DK, capitalizing on mark pressure, all the things that just separate one of these top teams. And I feel like they're just making some absolutely fantastic shot calls here. And GaleForce is struggling a little bit to keep up with it, I think.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying to come back in this, but I feel like they just need to get a pick here, get an engage, get something that's going to help them push them into this next team fight, because I feel like in a straight 5-on-5 fight here, there's a very high likelihood, unless ALMAO can pull off some absolutely insane chain bombs, and Mystically's can get like a ridiculous mosh, but I don't think it's overly likely that they're going to be able to win a straight 5-on-5 fight here.
I agree with you. A lot of it's going to come down to the mosh pit mixed with the chain bomb. Those are really, their comp is based around just getting one of those two legendary moments to win these team fights. But right now, keep in mind, not only are the teams, like obviously all the lanes are generally pushing in favor of Resurgence against GFE here, but with Falstad having epic mount now, it's almost impossible, unless Falstad's dead, you will almost never cap a Dragon Knight. At least not if the Falstad is safe and his flights and doesn't overextend at any time. Like right here, you see a situation where Falstad is going to easily be able to epic mount to top, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about anybody for the time being, having sight on 2 of his opponents. They're going to take both the Giants, cap on bottom, and then look to... I hope they send their whole team top and have Falstad cap on bottom. That's what I would like to see. There we go. And the reasoning for that is now Falstad should actually move up forward with these Giants and help them push towards core, and then fly to top as late as possible, applying the most pressure to the lane, meaning that the opponents can't actually respond to bottom and cap it without clearing the Giants that are going to be threatening their core. He does fly early there. Not too crazy. They're going to wait for this team fight, and it's all going to come down to the longer the better here for Resurgence, because they have Giants pushing on bottom, and they know that.
Yep, but a great engage coming here on Thrall. The ancestors are going to come. Yes, keep him alive. The APOC's going down. Diablo's actually going to fall great straight from the back on Bomb. He's taking a lot of damage. The Microstun actually getting better there, but great blank shots, a little bit of damage. And the Thrall, oh, actually a little bit of miscommunication there. The Moshpit not actually doing much. Daihu's going to take lots of damage as well. Barely going to be able to escape. Hounduyun blinking out with just a scrap of health. A little bit of miscommunication. That fight mystically is still going in the backline, though. Jaina is going to fall. The follow-up stun, not going to do much. And the Great Gust finally to disengage here. I feel like they probably could use that a little bit sooner.
Mid keep. Imagine if Falstad had waited a little bit longer on that team fight. There was no reason to force that at all. That would have been a keep 100% of the time. That was what I was really looking to see from them. The misposition really is all that team fight was about. It was just one really good burst. Even with the miscommunication on ults, they were able to pull through here. Daihu being the smart rotation here from him. Killick getting the fly up to try and help support his team here. Oh my goodness, beautiful pick on their half there. They were down a man, and they were down 2 people, and they ended up losing this team fight. If Hexo goes down as well, that is a very, very big swing in this game now. Not only do they have the mobility advantage by having Falstad, but then also they now have a man advantage. This very much is most likely going to be a really good pick there on Falstad. Man, these guys are just brawling. There is no stopping.
Going back. This is a hero brawler for a reason. And this, oh, fantastic ice block to dodge that. That was a beautiful play from Rixie. ALML going to pop that arcane barrier. Just man-moding it in the back line. He's just trading with the Diablo. He doesn't care. Great lift, but I think he might end up going down. Yes, he is great flank there from Skull Kid to dodge, but the root's not quite going to connect. Great slide coming in here, but now the rest of the team is starting to respawn. These blinks have been absolutely crucial in these fights. Mystically, he's trying to get it here, but and there it comes again. Hounduyun still trading though in the back line. I think he's
going to go down. He's going to kill him for sure. And there we go. We see a situation where one shrine now being captured for Resurgence after a 45-minute team fight, it felt like. We do see they end up capturing both of the shrines here in what's going to be a DK in favor of Resurgence. That honestly came down to overconfidence on the shrines. GFE's tasted blood for that DK and then was willing to risk positioning for it. Like we see out of Ball and Beast possibly right there. ETC is actually going to cap on top. Perfect timing. Really good delay there out of Ball and Beast. But honestly, that overconfidence in positioning with getting those 2 picks, which led to the counter picks, was the reason they didn't get a DK. And that is why GeForce Gaming or GeForce Esports here is losing this game right now, is because of that kind of overconfidence. Resurgence showing that they understand how to win games with their decision making, realizing they might make that mistake, and when they do, fully capitalizing on it. Jaina capping on bottom rather than the fall said. Interesting decision making there. Remember, both Giants is actually spawned here. What I would like to see is GaleForce or Resurgence actually dominating both of the Giants and then abusing Falstad's fly. Rather than worrying about a DK right now, their mid keep in their core is what they should be worried about. Good APOC, gonna hit all 4 members. Great job there. Flip on ETC, not necessarily the best target you want there, but it looks like he's gonna, beautiful Ancestral is gonna hit. This might be a team fight in favor of GFE here, depending on how well the Mosh and the Sunder goes. Shots out of position, does have Blink possibly.
Yes, he does. Ball Beast is going to chase, but actually getting capitalized on there. ETC also going to blink out as well. Bit of an overextension there from Ball and Beast, but Daihu's going into the back line. He's man-moding it up, but yes, he's going to trade 1-for-1 here for Diablo, and Shots actually going to pick up his DK in the back line. Watch that. That's huge, and he's going to get it. That's probably
going to go for core.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do here is just all in the core. They know that they don't have to really wait for anything. Really great game out of both of these teams here so far. But they do have a decent response to answer this. Not really when it comes down to it. Not only do they have a tank who can revive, like as long as Rixie and Killick don't overextend here, they don't have enough CC to really stop this DK. It is 24 minutes into this game, keep in mind. Look at that. Every auto attack's, what, 5% to the core. They realize that. They're just keeping everybody back here, staying alive while the DK just pounds on it. That is going to be game. Going in favor of Resurgence. Beautiful, beautiful
Hao
game.
Nguyen's playing like a boss, though. I have to say, 1v3ing that was absolutely fantastic. I mean, too little, too late, but Hao Nguyen, he's dancing on kids there.
Yeah. No, and I mean, a lot of what that came down to was the small. Not only resurgence to shot calling is definitely on point for the most part. Just that one rotation, getting 2 picks, GFE, and then they overextended, greedy for that DK rather than being patient. Keep in mind that late in the game, they had like 50 seconds to get that Dragon Knight, and they wanted it so quickly so they could maximize the value. They made a poor rotation, and Resurgence 100% capitalized on that, turning the game back around into their favor for sure. So, other than a couple of Giants decisions, I really like the decision making coming out from from Resurgence across the board.
Yeah, no, they were definitely making some absolutely heads up plays. Their experience is showing here.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the things that really impressed me the most is when a call was made, how promptly it was executed. Their rotations were crisp. Their merc pressure was solid. They were constantly knowing where they were supposed to be. I also, one of the things, and you pointed it out, and I think it was really important, was to note how the team split with Falstad. Knowing where the four-man was going to go to cap one side, when Falstad was going to go to the other, pressuring that. I feel like that was actually really well executed from them, knowing how to use that Falstad on this map.
Yeah.
Is absolutely so critical to this draft. I feel like, to your credit, in the end, he could have been a little more forceful with his soak, but overall, still just a fantastic job coming out from them. And don't get me wrong, GaleForce Esports put up I definitely put up a fight here, but
Yeah.
I feel like just the superior decision making coming out from Resurgence was what won the day here.
Absolutely. You could definitely see the teams looked pretty evenly, other than a couple of overextensions, not even in the laning phase, but in team fights, I felt like came out from GaleForce. I very much agree with you. You could tell the decision making for both teams was on point, but definitely more so in favor of Resurgence. Other than that, it did feel like the team, every team fight, you never knew who was going to win. It was just like, as long as the decision making and the levels were even, it worked out. But I'm excited for game 2. I'm more interested to see where the maps go, because if you notice, that's the second time we've seen Resurgence take Falstad on Dragonshire, so I think that's kind of their go-to strategy. So I want to see if we pull them away a little bit from what appears to be some of their comfort picks. I want to see how well they do end up matching up against GaleForce Esports. So while we're waiting on the next draft here and going into the game, we're going to go to a small break here, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to be getting into game number 2 with Resurgence versus GaleForce Esports. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll be right back.